Alright guys, so we are going out in this cold weather because the polar vortex is coming right as we are going out of town, and we want the chickens to be a little more sheltered so that our farm sitters don't have to worry about frostbite on their combs or frostbite on their feet, wet feathers, any of that stuff. Burr. You can see over here we have our chickens set up kind of around our playset area. They're just really exposed out here to the strong winds, a lot of the cold. So what we're gonna do is take down some of this food, and they are gonna be moved. Their fence is gonna go around this barn door here, and then their coop is actually gonna go inside of the barn so that they can go in the barn during the day or when they get cold and be dry. They can come outside if they feel like it. They'll be fenced in so they won't get in the road. And then also at night, we can shut the barn door and close their coop, and they'll be in the barn. The shop that we have is a pretty open, airy, mobile chicken coop, and it's worked really well. It works down into about high mid-teens, at least with what I'm comfortable with, without having to worry about any of our chickens getting frostbite or too cold. But we're supposed to get down to 8, 7, -2 over the weekend, and we're not going to be here. I just don't feel comfortable with it. So that's what I'm working on. Just got this whole new vlog kit with the speaker and the stand, so I should be able to set this up and you guys can actually watch the process. Then I'll edit it out, make it all fun and pretty for you, and yeah, the actual process is going to take a lot longer than what the video shows, but we'll get it done. Okay, so this is one roll of fencing. It's about 164 feet of the Premier One poultry netting. So got this up. There's 2 more fences around the chickens right now. I'm going to probably put 2 fences over there. So this is one. I'll have to get 1 more down, but we'll go ahead and put this one up where we need it to be over here. Let's go. Are you hungry? All right. Okay, so the way I set our fencing up that I have found to be easiest, because honestly, I'm 5'5", about 130 pounds, and 1 roll of fencing can get kind of heavy. I hurt my shoulder kind of doing all this work last summer. So for me, the way that I have found that works best for this netting is to lay it all flat out on the ground, whether you're picking it up or putting it down. So if you have a fence up and you're taking it down, what I do is I go through, pull all the stakes out, lay them the same direction, and then I'll go through one by one and roll them up. It saves you a ton of work from trying to hold the roll while pulling them out of the ground. It's just a pain in the ass. So I suggest laying it down on the ground, doing it one panel at a time. I do the exact same thing when I put a fence up. I have it rolled up in my arms. I lay one panel down, I walk backwards, put another panel down, and all the way until I get my whole fence laid out where I want it to be. So the ground is frozen out here, so we got to run back into the garage. I need a mallet. When the ground's frozen, you don't want to just stomp these stakes on the end of the fence post into the ground because you'll bend them. We've bent several of them. This is our germination chamber that I'm also working on today. I've got to get the humidity controls on it, the temp controls on it. We're going to be starting all of our seeds in here. All of our seed trays will go in here. It'll have controlled humidity. We should get 100% or close to germination rates, which will be really nice because germination can sometimes be finicky. Mallet. I have a better mallet, but I don't know where it is at the moment. Another thing, don't leave your tools laying around. Put them up. I'm still learning this lesson. I'm giving advice to people about what not to do, even as I'm still doing it. Got it laid out here. Like I said, I'm going to open up one of these doors a little bit, enough to get the chickshaw through. So I'm going to fence out in a kind of U shape around the door. Okay, I'm going to get this fence put up, and then this evening we'll get the chickens moved in here. So, one thing, when you're trying to do a very specific layout, so like right now, I am trying to do a U shape and have both ends right where I need them to be to touch the door. So when I do this, I'll start with one end, put it right where I need it to be, hammer in a few of the panels, and then I'll move to the other end and do the same thing. Put that end piece where I want it, hammer in a few of the panels, and then I can really make sure as I'm moving out that I'm not going to have to go back around, take them out, extend the end to where I need to be. I put the ends where they need to be first, and then work my way backwards. Okay, can't really see it to the left here, but you can see how it comes out all the way around the right side, comes up here, goes around, back to the door. So wind, this little setup, the only thing I'm concerned about is wind. When we first moved to this property, we had these barn doors replaced, actually, because the wind had blown them and just completely jacked them up. Something, right? So the door needs to be open wider than this so that the chicken coop can fit through it. However, because of the snow and the ice, the door's not opening all the way. So gotta pause what I'm doing, get a shovel, go shovel that little part out so that I can open this door up more. Okay, so this should work now. So, got plenty of space there. Chickens are all out of their coop right now, so I'm not even gonna try and move them. So I took these 2 fence panels down. When I put the chickens in their coop at night, what I will do is bring their coop in here into the barn. I'll close both barn doors and lock them for the evening. Put these 2 fence panels back up. Then tomorrow, when the chickens need to come out, I won't need to open both of these doors because the coop is staying in there. I'll just need to open that one door just a little bit, just enough so the chickens can get out. The other thing I told you guys, I need to get I was going to use 2 fences, and the reason for that, there's a lot of stuff I don't want the chickens just pooping all over. There's so many places for them to lay their eggs. So my plan is to fence off just a little part of the barn too for them. What I'll probably do, so coop is going to be in this area, so I'll likely pull a fence from this post and run it to that post in kind of like an L shape. So from there over, and then I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out as I go. So I'm gonna go get that fence taken down, and then we'll start back up afterwards. With this fencing, it's just kind of figuring it out as you go. You can't always lay it out perfectly on paper in your head. Sometimes you just gotta start laying it out and figure it out as you go. So I started over here. This is where pigs get fed in the morning, so that door opens up, their feed's over there, so I didn't want to block that. So I started the fence here, brought it around. I've got like a hay dirt area here that we don't really use. I was just gonna run it to this pole here. I decided to bring the fence. We're gonna go around this, all this stuff here, and then we're gonna run the fence up here. It's gonna be too long, but that's all right. All we have to do is kind of weave it back and forth a little bit on the last, whichever panels are extra. You just kind of weave them back and forth across each other. This dirt's pretty hard. So these posts are taking some time to get in. Go ahead and turn the camera off because I just don't have that much space on my iPad to edit this anyway. So I'll show the finished product here in a minute when I'm done. Okay, so this project is done. This fence is all the way up. Some of these fence posts were just a pain to get in. Dirt is just so hard packed that around a lot of the edges there's still quite a bit of gap. So I don't know. I'm gonna put the chickens in here tonight. They'll be in here tomorrow when I open the coop up. So I'll get a good feel about, are they really trying to escape under there and get into other areas of the barn, or do they not care? So that is all for this. We are huge fans of the Premier One netting, and I don't know. I mean, when we first started our little journey here on our farmstead, we followed Justin Rhodes a lot and he recommended it. And so that's just kind of what we've always known. We've never used anything else. So don't take my advice from like I have a whole lot of experience, because that's not the case. This is just what we started out using. A little difficult. I would like to find a better way to carry the rolls. Some kind of, I don't know, contraption. Maybe we can make one this year and then we'll post it, because they are a little bit cumbersome. So to finish up out here, I am going to feed the barn cats, feed the pigs, and then go inside and get myself either some hot chocolate or some coffee. I do not have any kind of cool sign off yet. But for now you just get